What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Football United TV. We were meant to be doing a Chelsea talk, but that is not going to happen right now. Instead, we're talking about the Champions League final and a few other bits and bobs. Basically, an open chat with my good man, Talk MU. How you doing, bro?
Howdy, yeah, good man, good.
Good.
Yeah,
So,
bit of a change of schedule, but you know what? It's cool, isn't it?
shit happens, doesn't it? You got to change the schedule sometimes, didn't you? You got to make sure you keep doing what you're doing, and I'm glad you're here, bro.
Yeah, man, cool. Yeah,
What we saying then, Talk, mate? What we're going to talk about? Champions League final is open discussion, everybody. By the way, so if you want to get in the comments and just have a talk, and if you want to come on as well,
you know, I
that's sorry. That's because do you know what was happening? Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear
My mic was smoking, mate.
you. Serious?
Yeah.
Smoking what?
I don't know. It probably a lot more than what it usually gets, but wow,
Smoking mics, man.
that's crazy.
Shit, you don't need nothing electrical smoking, mate. Excuse me, you don't want anything electrical smoking because that's just not good. Um,
Sorry, continue then. Continue, Talk.
yeah, yeah. So
Champions League.
Champions League final, can't wait. It's going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be a great game. I hope. I should imagine though for the first, I don't know, at least the first 10, 15 minutes, it's going to surely it's going to be a bit touchy. You know what I mean? No, I can't see either manager just throwing their cards straight on the table and going, right, let's do it. Just go for it. No way. It's too big a game to do that. Surely. Don't know. I might be wrong. You know, what do you think?
So like an all English final, mate. I mean, I hate to say it, but I kind of hope that Man City win. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, let's have it right. Pep, as I said before, Pepper's got like he's got the advantage. He's got he's got more sort of experience and knowledge about his squad. He's got a better squad. He's got more trophies. He's got more experience. He's a better manager. You know, he's it's really it's got to be all the everything is leaning towards City. So I don't see how I don't see Pep making any the same mistakes again. To be honest, and I think he might, from my point of view, I'm thinking that he might actually decide to he'll play that strong team of his. He might actually try and play Ferran Torres up front if he can work the system to work to get him up front. But if not, and he plays this false nine system, he may well decide to sort of play keep ball a little bit deeper and say to Chelsea, okay, listen, these last few games you've played us, you've caught us when we're trying to play in your half, and you've caught us, you've gone and scored. Okay. All right, well, I'll tell you what, you come and try and get the ball off us, yeah? And then we'll see what happens. Because if Chelsea have to come forward to try and hunt the ball down, you know that's going to leave a back line that's quite high up. And with their midfielders and everything else, City and the way they can keep the ball, there's going to be a loads of space in behind. And that's what City are great at, is getting in behind. That's what they do. You know, that's City's trademark. So rather than sort of getting the ball and moving it really quickly, and Chelsea expecting that and saying to themselves, all right, we expect this, lads. It's all right. Go on. Just low block. And as soon as we get possession, ping pong, and let's try and break on them. Why would he keep trying to do that, especially in such a massive game? I don't see how he would do that. I think, like for me, like I say, if he decides to say to them, come on then, you think you can play ball? Come on and get it then. Here it is. Come and get the ball off us. Because there's no way that Chelsea can outball City. No chance. So City they've got the players to be able to do that one-touch fast movement, and they could drag Chelsea all over the show just with a few passes. And then you've got your runners, who've got a bit of pace about them for that one pass from the likes of Kevin De Bruyne or Bernardo Silva even, to feed into like your Phil Fodens and your Ferran Torres. You know what I mean? And even Gundogan, to be fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can make passes. So for me, I think that's one approach I think maybe Pep might actually consider. And I said this to Ray, but from City Fan TV, and I can't remember exactly what he said. I don't know if he agreed or said it's an option, but you don't know whether he would do it. But yo, Miss Mel. But you know what? I'd like to see something like that because it would really test Chelsea, wouldn't it? Because they would. Can you imagine what would they do? If they're fully expecting Pep to do what he always does, but then he just goes, okay, yeah, and City just start passing it around right from the kickoff in their own half and don't move, and then Chelsea are like, shit, okay, well, what do we do here then? And then City tease them by passing it out wide, draw some players out. Oh, there it goes, pass it back. Just hold on to the ball, slowly move forward a little bit, hold the ball. Chelsea are going to be like, oh shit, okay, well, we've got to go and get the ball. We've got to get the ball. Otherwise, you can easily switch off when you're in that position. If you're constantly just watching a ball going round, it's like being hypnotized. You're going to lose concentration. So for me, if City decide to do that, it's a win-win, because they've got the players to play that keep ball better than any team in Europe, in the world, in fact. Let's have it right. What have we been saying over how many years now? With City, the way they play the ball, keep the ball, there's no one better. So, you know what? If he does that, Pep, I can see him like really, really making a real show of this, and Chelsea making Chelsea look like really stupid and like really amateurish. I really can. If he does this right, I can really see it. And you know what? That'd be a really bad end to Chelsea's season. Yeah, right. If they get top four, fair enough. But they get beaten in the FA Cup. They don't win the Champions League. They just about make top four. Then what next season? When it starts to really matter, like I've said all along with Tuchel, this situation is in right now is a free ride. There's no expectation for him to go out and do anything. There wasn't. Now they're in the final. It's like, oh, wow, yeah, this right, okay, we're in the final. Okay, well, we didn't really expect to get here, but now we're here. And if he loses it, I don't see it like Abramovich saying, "Oh, you're getting sacked" or anything like that, or "I'm not giving you any money." I think it's still going to be the plan is for next season for Chelsea, in my opinion. So all this is a bit of a bonus for them. But like I say, is he going to do what Lampard did? If he buys too many players, he starts getting still overthinking it. He could very well find himself in a position from Lampard was buying a puzzle but he can't solve, which then will be left for somebody else to come in and solve it for him, and so on and so forth.
Do you think if Guardiola doesn't win the Champions League, you think he might be off?
Do you know what I think it is with Guardiola? I think with Pep, I think it's all about his family situation, to be honest with you. I think he's more than happy at City. I think he's more than happy with what he's created there. And I think he's more than happy with most of his squad and the youth setup and all the rest of it. I think it's just a family thing. If his family are like happy to go for another couple of years, obviously, when you have this conversation with your family in that position, surely it's most of it revolves around money, and Pep's ambition to win with City and become a legend in England, which he already is in a kind of way. But if he was to actually get them that Champions League and do the double, Champions League, Premier League, and a treble with the cup, I mean, and they say, look, you know what, yeah, we'd be all right with like another season or two, and that's it though. Then you know what? Why not stay then? If he's happy, because he can just say to them, look, if I stay for another 2 seasons, that's another another 20 million quid in our bank account. He's getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. Do you know what I mean? He's getting paid a sickening amount of money to stay there. So you know what? It's a balance. It's a trade-off. The guy's still only young. You know what I mean? I don't see him I think if he was to stay at City for 2 more seasons and he wins the Champions League this season, then goes on next season to do something else, like maybe Champions League again and the Premier League, another double, I think then he may even decide to take us another sabbatical and say, you know what, I'm stepping away now for 3 years. I'm just going to step away, go and enjoy my family. You know what I mean? Go and enjoy my family. Go and enjoy my life. No stress, no worry, no nothing. Go and enjoy what I've earned, which is fair enough, and then come back. Because one thing's for sure, you don't lose it. Whatever it is that Pepper's got, you don't lose it. You know, it's always going to be there. That ability to create and build, you know, and play that brand of football is always going to be there, and also the ability to adapt. So if, like I said, you know what I said it last night. I was talking about Leeds because under Marcelo Bielsa, I think Pep changed it first. Klopp adjusted, in my opinion, to Pep and Manchester City. And I think now Bielsa is going to start now affecting and changing other managers in this league and making them think, wait a minute, look at his team on paper, Matt, that Leeds United team. Who would you say it's a better team than Brighton?
Maybe. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? Don't you think?
I wouldn't say so. I would say Brighton's team was better. Would you say that Leeds United's team is better than Southampton's team? I wouldn't. Would you say it's better than Everton? I wouldn't. Is it better than West Ham? No. There's a lot of teams that team isn't better than on paper, but yet they're doing much better football. This style, this system, if you look at this system, how it works, right? The 3-3-1-3, mate, it's like wherever you turn as the opposition to try and release that ball and get away with it, to try and get something going, there is 2 or 3 players everywhere, from the defence to the attack, and everybody in the middle are ready to press you and hound you and harry you, and they get the ball back, and then you've got the 3 up front and that 1 in the middle who can float about into all the empty space that's created. And if that player's got a pass on them, you know what? Bang, goal. And if Leeds United, in my opinion, get a striker who's a proven striker in the Premier League, as in Danny Ings, and maybe somebody else, maybe a midfielder and somebody at the back of real quality, I think next season I don't see why, and I would actually put money on it that they would actually finish in the top 6, maybe even higher. Definitely. And I said it this season, at the start of this season, I said to some Leeds fans, I said, listen, the way you play that football, nobody wants to play you. Nobody looks forward to it. Nobody thinks, oh, fucking hell, this is going to be an easy game. Why can't you go for top 6? And they all said, oh, no, we won't get anywhere near it. Where are they? Where are they right now? They're not that far off it. And they've still got, let's have a look. Just have a look on BBC Sports. So they're at the moment, they're in 8th on 56 points. So they're 3 points off 6th. And they've got a game left. So they've not missed out by much, have they? Let's have it right. You know what I mean?
They didn't,
go on, sorry.
Just check your Twitter. Check your
inbox.
Right,
yeah.
Yeah. No, mate, I get that. I mean, you say about Danny Ings as well on Southampton. He's done terrific. Do you think like moving about so much would be a good thing for him? Because I don't necessarily think so. I like seeing him at Southampton. He got pushed out by Klopp. You could tell like Klopp was angry. Like he was like, I actually should have like given him a little chance. I think stay at Southampton for Danny Ings. I think Southampton can progress. They've got a brilliant manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl. Did I say that right? I said that right. But he's a great manager, and people ain't even looking at him. Like not even Arsenal are looking at him as a manager, like saying like maybe you could get him in. At least he's experienced. He's such a good. I mean, look, okay, he's lost like in 2 games. He's let in 18 goals in 2 games. Like I know that. Like he's the only manager in the history of Southampton to lose 2 9-0 games. crazy. He is, isn't
Yeah.
he?
You know what? Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, I think like for me, mate, look, Danny Ings. You know what? When he was at Liverpool, it was just sometimes the weight of the shirt, mate. The weight of the shirt. Don't underestimate the weight of the shirt. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you put certain shirts on, mate. He's like, wash. This is even if you try your hardest to try and not let it affect you, you're doing the wrong thing. Sometimes you have to put that shirt on and accept and like encourage yourself to absorb that pressure and use it as energy.
We look at
You can
You look at Matt Letizia as well. Like just going on that, like he didn't win really anything for Southampton, but as a prolific player in the Premier League, like he's looked up by a lot of people. I think even the likes of Iniesta and Xavi have said how great Matt Letizia was. And you think, like, hang on a minute, like the guy didn't win anything, but he had such a good way on the ball, didn't he? The way he could just move very slowly around players and make it seem like it was nothing. He didn't even seem like he had a football. It was like the ref was playing and then suddenly juggled it up.
It's like, you know what it is? It's like for me, I mean, I'm not saying I was like, I'm not going to say that I was Paul Scholes or anyone like that, mate, but I was pretty decent at football, right? And I know that me and my mate, like Scott, when we was younger, we used to play against the big lads, right? And we'd always take the piss. We'd just take the piss. We'd nutmeg them. We'd do the drag backs. We'd do the back heels. Do it, all that kind of stuff. And we'd end up getting kicked up the arse by the bigger lads for taking the piss out of them. Many times I've been chased off the pitch for making someone look stupid. You know what I mean? But there's a feeling you get when you're playing football and that ball is like an extension of your foot. In other words, it doesn't matter where that ball is. You are 100% like confident of keeping that ball on your foot. You know exactly what you're going to do with it. It gives you that ability to just take your time, have a look, and wait, and it gives you the time to anticipate what this player in front of you is going to do. So you give them time to make their own mistake, and you just take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like I say, even nutmeg them. You go to shift one way, drop a shoulder, but then go the other. They sell themselves by sticking their leg out, end up on one knee with one other leg stretched out, and you're in their space behind them. And then you're like, yep, cool. All right, what do I want to do now? Either chip it into somebody who's going to run into the box to try and get an header on it or a volley, or you keep dragging out and expect somebody to come up behind you to give you an out ball. No, but Matt Letizia, mate. I mean, yeah, that's what he was. The ball was an extension of his foot. That's why he was an exceptional ball and his technique. Because this is the other thing of football. Anybody will tell you who's played the game. It's not just having that sort of feeling of the extension of the ball of your foot. It's the technique. How to. It's like the other night. What was it? Last night. Jose Perez. As soon as that ball went into him and I seen his body shape, I was like, nah, that ain't going in. Because his body shape was all wrong. He was leaning back and he's leant to the side and he tried to get that, that kind of curl. So he's gone from out. He wanted to try and go from out to in at that far post. But his body shape was all wrong and he was leaning back too much. And I knew straight away. And I tell you what, if I was his manager, I'd have gone fucking crazy. I'd have I'd have slammed him. I'd have said, "What the fuck are you doing? You should have, if you'd have got over that ball and put your foot right through it, a low, really powerful low hit. There's no doubt he would have scored. But no, he went for the money shot, and he didn't get no change, mate. Simple."
Let me shout out a few more comments here, mate. So we got Anthony says, "Hi Matt, might go to pens. The Champions League final might go to pens. I'm pretty sure both teams will not want that to happen. That will be."
Anthony, how are you doing, mate? Yeah, that comment. I mean, sorry, go on. I do that.
I know you do. Monstar as well. Running a little bit late. He had a vlogger, and we didn't understand. We was like, "What's going on?" Like, I thought he was going to come on, So I've sent him that. Hopefully, Monstar will come in. That'll be great to talk about what he feels about the Champions League final and everything going on. Anthony Herbert's in the house. Stephen might be on very soon, but we probably will be finished by then. Spurs bottling it again.
Really? What's the score? I'll tell you the score, Matt. The score is Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2 full time. Do you know what it is with Tottenham? They need to change their logo, make a cock and a ball, right? It's not working for them. They need to get like they need to get somewhere else than 2 balls because it's quite obviously not working for them. Because, mate, honestly, they're really poor. Aren't they? Let's have it right. I mean, listen, I ain't got nothing against Spurs at all. Because why should I? You know, they're not a rival of Man United. They're not. You know, they're never going to challenge us in any way, shape, or form ever. Never in a million years. So, but you know what? I mean, I think a lot of it, Daniel Levy, I think it's like, do you know what? Do you remember, cast our minds back quickly to the Harry Redknapp incident? You know what I mean? That was all down to Daniel Levy. I think that was because of the England connection with Harry. You know, I think Harry was put in a really, really difficult position and it ended up just going south on him, didn't it? And he left. I mean, who knows what Harry could have done, if he'd have stayed on there. He might have actually gone and done something.
Possibly. I mean, he probably would have thought at that time that Spurs was the attraction. I mean, they probably had plans for getting a new stadium for quite a while. I can't see that just being like a couple of year thing. So I'm guessing he was sort of pulled in by that magnet of like, look what we're going to be doing in our future. And it looked that way, didn't it? They went into the Champions League final, the new stadium, which is probably the best in the world. Like any player would want to play there. I mean, I think you saw when they opened it up, like all the players walking around, their eyes were lit up. So it is an attraction. I guess maybe that. I think the same with Bale, to be fair. Do you want to go back to Spurs? Massive stadium, best in the world. You'll get paid all your wages that you do from Madrid, and Tottenham are going to pay in a little bit more. And come back next year. It's sort of a holiday.
But do you know what? That thing with Bale, mate, let's have it right. Come on, let's have it right. Do you know that did you ever get that feeling? You know, when you, like, I don't know, you've been like, you're at a party like with like certain people, and you're like, oh, that's just brilliant. And you're doing all your thing, and it's like you feel great, and you're making everybody laugh. You know what I mean? And it's like it's all brilliant. And then you get invited to another party where it's like celebs. This is like celebs, man. You know what I mean? Like big names. And you're in there with them and you get on great with them, and everyone's like, still, you're the center of attention, even around all of the celebs. And then all of a sudden, you say, all right, yeah, listen, I feel a bit tired with this party. I'm going to go back to that first party. How was that? You go back to that first party, and then it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not the same, is it? It's not the same. It's just never going to be the same. So going backwards like that for me, for Bale, was, he should have gone to another club, in my opinion. He should have gone to another club.
But everybody says as well about Bale that they say, oh, he hasn't done anything for Real Madrid, which he clearly has. Like,
of course he has.
Say that though, mate. It will come out. People do say, even Madrid fans as well. They say he's a nobody. Yet he's won what? Was it three or four Champions Leagues for him?
Yeah.
2 La Ligas, a Copa del Rey, which he won the Copa del Rey for him with that amazing run against Barcelona, wasn't it, from the halfway line or something?
Do you know what? Can I ask you? Because for me, you know what? If I'd have stayed in football and I'd have done something, I never got into that position. No way would you go to Real Madrid? Fuck that. No way.
Everybody wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
Nah. No, I wouldn't. But yeah, let's put it this way. Paul Scholes, he could have gone anywhere. There was clubs left, right, and centre begging for him. And Ryan Giggs. More than enough offers were on the table for that. No. Ain't interested. I'm happy to stay here in the rain, in the cold, in the grey skies, mate. Playing in this like grey, rainy little city in the north of England called Manchester. This is Manchester United. Why would I want to go to Real Madrid? Fuck off. Fuck off. Who the fuck do you think you are? You ain't bigger than Man United. Fuck off. Just because you fucking got the King of Spain giving you all the money. Bollocks. Don't start saying, oh, we're this and we're that. No, you ain't. We are. Look at us, Matt. 58. Within 24 hours of going fucking south and being out of total business and the ground getting bulldozed and being built on. What happened 10 years later? We're the first English club to go and win the fucking European Cup. 10 years. How long has it took some of these clubs to go out there and win the fucking European Cup? Nearly 100 fucking years, mate. We did it in 10 after being decimated with the best team that anybody had ever seen in the world. The Busby Babes. The Busby Babes, mate. And that's why we are the biggest club and always will be, in my opinion. I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care. Simple. My club is my club. I love my club to death because, like I say, I explained it to somebody. Oh, it's like talking. You're not having it tonight.
Big up Solo United agenda. Big up to you. Yeah. You're probably right. Actually, Talk MU is not having it tonight. He's angry about people saying that Real Madrid are bigger than Man United, which I don't agree with. But
nah, because look, yeah, I mean, you know what? And this, you know, I was explaining to somebody who were there about with the way I feel about my club and about my boys going out. I'm sure everybody, most of the football fans, I should imagine, feel the same. Which is, you know what? They go out when they go out there. You know, they're representing little me. They're representing me. They're representing me. They're going out there for me. And when they win, and they're all celebrating, and they come up to the fans, and they're all celebrating with the fans or at the camera, that's for me. That's for me. So, you know what I mean? It's, yeah. So, listen, I don't care. Man United's the biggest club in the world. End of. Simple. I'd like to have an argument with anybody about that, actually, if I'm honest with you.
I don't think you will. I mean, hopefully Monstar can come and we can have a talk about that. Where are you, Monstar? Where are you? He might not come in. He's a very busy man. He's been very busy lately. Kind of a bit confused earlier because he went live and we were like, what's going on, man? You meant to be here. But then obviously he might have forgot. He's so busy, man. It's fair play. Where is this comment that I wanted to bring up?
Is it?
Yeah, he's got right. Yeah, he's got right. Yeah. Completely agree. Completely agree. This is it. Sorry, from Anthony. Bloody hell, multitasking Matt, Stephen, and Charlie all streaming at the same time. Charlie Hibbert.
Yeah. No, but you know what? Listen, let's just think about that for a minute, because to me, I don't see how there's an argument. I don't see how there's an argument about who's the biggest club in the world. There isn't. I don't see how there's an argument about that. Do you?
No, not really.
I mean, like I say, Real Madrid. I mean, look at what have they always done? It's like the spoiled kid. It's like the spoiled kid. You know what I mean? The rich kid next door. Oh, Dad, he's got a brand new BMX. Oh, I want the best one. Next day he goes out, he's got the best one. But could he do a wheelie better than me? Could he do a fucking bunny hop better than me? Could he do the tabletop better than me? No. But he had the best bike. But I mean, money doesn't buy everything. But that's my point as well about, like, when people talk about the money with, like, you know, Chelsea and Man City. It's like, yeah, but look at Man City, man. Yeah, money doesn't guarantee you anything. Money does not. You take Pep out of that equation. All right, then. Let me. Who else is going to go in there then and get that team doing what they do now? You tell me that.
Solo, bro. Do you want to come on, mate? Do you want to come on? You're more than welcome, bro. Hopefully we'll get Monstar on very soon. I did send him the link. He did say in the chat.
I hope I'm making you smile, Solo.
Yeah, come on, Solo, if you want to, mate. More than welcome, bro. Let us know and we'll send you the link.
You know what? This is the thing, mate. Honestly, look. So you talk about Man City with the money. right, with Pep. Okay, so you go, okay, then let's be an interesting test. Take Pep out of Manchester City and swap him with, I don't know, Graham Potter at Brighton, and say, okay, Pep, you go manage Brighton for 2 seasons. Graham Potter, you go and manage City for 2 seasons. See what happens. Because I'll tell you what happened. Manchester City would start slipping, no doubt about it. But Brighton would start coming up, no doubt about it. It's like I say, the money gives you an edge, but it doesn't guarantee you anything. It doesn't. It just doesn't guarantee you anything. Not at all.
It doesn't, does it? Why is that?
Well, just because you can't. But listen, the bigger the player, the bigger the name, the bigger the ego, the harder it is to manage them. You know, trying to keep. I mean, can you imagine how difficult it is for Poch at Paris, trying to keep, you know, Mbappe and Neymar happy, and not getting on the wrong side of them. Because if you know as well as I do, if they down tools, if they decide to down tools on a manager, but everybody else is going to follow suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else will follow suit, and they'll be like, oh, you know, okay. Yeah. But it's such a difficult task, and this is the beauty of like the likes of Klopp. I mean, honest, I'm not forgetting about our own manager in this conversation either. I don't think I am, because I ain't. You know, yes, you're right, Solo man. Ollie, considering what he's got, let's have it right. Fred and McTominay, they're not good enough. If we really want to step up and go forward and actually not contend for like what, for a season, no, we want to be back up there again, competing every season. This isn't about just going competing for next season. What and then what? Just see what happens the season after. Bollocks. This is an ongoing, consistent challenge for that. What is ours, in my opinion? That's our title. We've got the most. We've won the most Premier Leagues. It's ours. We've earned it to say it's ours. Simple as that. But look at what Ollie's got to work with. We've got no DM. We've got no right winger as such. The defence is a different topic altogether, so I'm going to forget that. But we know DM and a right winger, and midfield players who are just not. They're just not good enough. They're just not good enough at all. When it comes down to it, when intelligent decisions have to be made, they can't do it. Or really intelligent passes have to be made. You can't do it. I've seen it time again. Like with Fred, you know, it's just like, yeah, look, guy, man, he's a great, you know, you're a great bloke and all the rest of it, but you just don't. It just doesn't do it for me. Just doesn't do it. And this is, you know, going forward, this is, I think, why now Van der Beek has to now really take this opportunity. Every time he gets to play that ball, he's got to make it clear to Ollie that, look, I'm a baller, mate. I know what I'm doing here. I know what I'm doing. Play me more. So if someone like Declan Rice in our midfield as a DM, right, to be that sort of safety net, so to speak. And then someone like Pogba, if he stays, and Bruno with Van der Beek. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then you've got, I don't know, who else? Well, Rashford, Greenwood, Cavani. Is Martial good enough? Is Martial good enough? I don't know if he is. We're talking about Man United here, mate. People seem to, when we talk about Man United, you know, people seem to forget that
we've got to change Man United to Chelsea now.
Chelsea. What are we saying, boys?
Yo, Monstar, how you doing?
Bro.
How you doing, man? I'm good. How you guys doing, man?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Not too bad, man. Not too bad. How did you feel about, mate, the result last night, man? That was so tight, mate. Squeaky bum time, wasn't it?
Oh, man, like, I'm not even going to make any excuses because it was a brilliant result. It was a push for top 4. Obviously, with the Chelsea, if you're thinking about it from how the club are thinking about it, that game was more important than the FA Cup in terms of in a business sense. But to me personally, I would rather have the FA Cup. But if you listen to what Tuchel said and the way he's in his press conferences, it seemed like the top four, that game against Leicester for the top four was more of a priority than the FA Cup, which is weird. But being where football is today, you know, being in Champions League is like 100 million. Do you know what I mean? So to I guess to them it was more important to get the Champions League. But I would have said, you know, go for both, play the full strength side in both games. But I'm happy that, you know, we got our revenge on Leicester. We did beat them. And yeah, you know, we move. Hopefully, I'm watching the Liverpool game right now. They're actually struggling with Burnley, but hopefully we move and we're in the Champions League next season, and we can look forward to the Champions League final.
So yes, the whole you've got to win. You had to win both last games, right, Monstar, to be able to get that. So it's down to it's kind of down to the last game, right? Like you have to win. If you draw or lose, it depends on other teams, right?
Yes. So as it stands right now, with Liverpool, we have to basically, if it stays like this, so if Liverpool draw, all we have to do is not lose to Aston Villa. We just have to not lose. We could still lose and still get in on goal difference, but I wouldn't want to take that chance. But we just have to not lose. And obviously Leicester as well have Tottenham on the last day. But as it stands, if Liverpool continue the result like this, it's looking like Chelsea will 100% get third place and we'll win and we'll be in the Champions League next season.
Yeah. Do you think? Well, I want to ask you, Monstar, is about is the final, mate? Because I know your I just said that, and your stomach turned over, didn't it, mate? Something right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you know what, that final, mate. I've always said, me, like with Manchester City and everything else, and I asked the question to Race, who was on City Fan TV. I said, okay, then, how do Manchester City lose that final? How did they lose it?
It is possible because our style, the way we play, they play right into our hands. Hence why we beat them in the FA Cup and we beat them in the Premier League earlier in the season, because our styles, you know, styles make fights, as they say in boxing. Our styles are made for each other, where we can sit back and hit them on a counter attack when they're getting frustrated and they can't score. They're going to push forward. Now it all depends on Chelsea being resolute in defense and not making mistakes, because in our last few games we made some really silly mistakes. The FA Cup final, obviously you could say Tuchel didn't play his strongest lineup. You know, he made a very bad decision, in my opinion, of starting Kepa in goal over Mendy, our first choice goalkeeper, and starting Alonso at left back or left wing back over Chilwell, which doesn't make sense. And you saw when Chilwell came on, he actually got the goal, which was ruled offside, but he started to make things happen. Now he's not going to make that same mistake against City. He's going to play our strongest lineup. And also you saw in the Arsenal game, the way they won was obviously a mistake by Chelsea. The back pass, which was going in from Jorginho, and then Kepa had to, you know, push it out, and then obviously Arsenal capitalized from that and scored. And also the Leicester game where they scored, it was a mistake from Kovacic. So it's down to Chelsea to stop making these silly mistakes and obviously finish our chances, because we do miss a lot of chances in the Premier League. Since Tuchel's come in, Chelsea have actually created the most chances. So we're number one in chances created, but our 13th in chances converted. That's how bad our finishing has been this season. And Werner has literally missed the most, you know, what do they call it? Open chances in the Premier League, which is quite bad. So it is down to us necessarily taking. I feel like it's Chelsea's to lose, if you ask me.
But what about if I've just put this to Matt, and I said to Matt is, listen, what if Pep decides, you know what, considering what you've just said there, what we all seen in those last two games, what if Pep, right, he's going to play his strongest team, and Pep says, you know what, there's nobody can touch us for playing ball, which nobody can play that you know, to keep ball. If he decides to say, okay, listen, we're going to keep ball and we're going to play a little bit deeper, and we're going to say to Chelsea, okay, if you want this ball, you're going to have to come and get it. In other words, you're going to have to come out your comfort zone. And how would that suit you?
But then that's a good question. But at the same time, how would that suit City, considering they've never done that?
But this is the thing, because if he goes again and tries to do exactly what you've just said, which is make that same mistake of going up against the brick wall and getting picked off, he might, you know, he might well just think, you know what, this, because he's been fighting for this for 4 years, hasn't he?
But
to
then
this
every time,
position.
have you not noticed? Every time he's lost, every time he's lost in the Champions League, or the last 2 times he lost in the Champions League, it's basically exactly what you've explained. Him changing the way he's the reason why is because he changed the way he played, and he decided against Lyon, they decided to play 3 at the back and go a bit more defensive, which is not their game. And Lyon, the 8th place team at the time in France, picked them off. You know, it's not really their game. Sometimes you've just got to play how you play, and you know, leave it down to luck whether you can pick us off or not. If he did do that, I think it would be very, very stupid. But even as you say, but even in the FA Cup and in the Premier League, they did have a spell of possession where they pressed us and things like that. But Chelsea grew into the game, and then we ended up having possession as well. So we ended up playing them at their own game, and that's how we've been playing.
Sorry, I'm going to cut in there. When you guys played Chelsea and you did beat them, I'm pretty certain there was 8 changes to Man City first team, though, wasn't there?
But there was also 6. There was also 6 changes to Chelsea's first team, so we both didn't play our first teams.
I'd rather Chelsea win the league, win this Champions League, but I cannot see you winning it. I can see Man City holding the ball, playing the ball around, and just picking the pockets from Chelsea. Because, like you said, when it comes to chances created, yes, Chelsea is number 1 in the Premier League this season so far since Tuchel taken over, but conversion is poor at the moment at Chelsea.
Yes.
So Man City will take their chances.
You're not acknowledging that Man City have also struggled to convert their chances. So they are struggling as well. They are struggling massively. And partly because they're playing a false 8.
Well, mate, they were like 7th or 8th in the league, like by December. Like, they were going down in the league. Like they weren't doing very well.
Right. Yeah. League. But again, I know to be a Chelsea fan, I'm a United fan. I'm confident about what we do and what we can do now and again on the thing. But for me, I would not write Man City off because Pep Guardiola, like Talk MU just said, he's been crying for this trophy, and I think the trophy is going to Man City this season. I think
they are. I mean, they are the favourites. They're definitely the favourites. Like we can't deny. We can never deny they are the favourites.
You got to also remember they don't. I know you're saying about obviously they're not converting, but I look at Man City, and Man City, Pep Guardiola now has made this team into almost a team that they'll score 4 or 5 goals against you, or they'll just nick a 1-0 win and manage the game now. That's what they are now.
Solo, what happened with Man City last night?
What happened with them?
Red card. Again, you can say the red card.
Again, listen, there's no excuse for them yesterday, but like for us, you come on the United Agenda, we talk about it, Talk MU come. The players are already thinking 1 foot in the final already. They're already thinking that. Against Leicester City, I can assure you, most of those players who played in Chelsea's game also thought that as well. 1 foot in the final already, rather than concentrating on game by game play.
But I guess, Monstar, this could be a blessing in disguise to lose the final of the FA Cup, because shouldn't that give your team more momentum to actually make right this time? I mean, I know you talked about it as well in your vlogs recently about how many finals you've effed up, and
it's actually not that many. That stat that you saw is actually, it makes it look as bad. It makes it look worse than it actually is, because they're counting Super Cups and Community Shields as finals when technically they are not finals, are they? They're more. Would you call a Super Cup a final or a Community Shield?
Yes, I would. I would.
I
wouldn't. I'd call a Super Card. Yeah, I would. It's a trophy.
It's not. It's a trophy, but it's not.
Anything that you lift as players and aspiration, any footballer with any aspiration playing from, and again, Talk MU, I was listening to you earlier as well, and you said about the representative of basically if you have a child or something that goes play football, it's representing you. For me, when I go on a football pitch, I want to win every single game, no matter what it is. I want to win it. So when it comes to when the trophy cabinet come and you look at trophies, and it says Liverpool have won so many trophies. They count in the Super Cups in those. They're counting the.
You would always count.
You're always counting. So for me, as a Man United fan, if Man United went out and we won the Charity Shield and we didn't win a cup, I'm celebrating still. We won a trophy. I don't want to, but it's a trophy. A trophy is a trophy.
I don't know. Me personally, I'm not. With Community Shield, I'm not gonna lie to you. As me as a fan, I didn't even celebrate us winning the Europa League. I celebrated beating Arsenal, but I was ashamed to be in the Europa League. Do you get what I mean? I didn't want to be in the Europa League. So I watched all the games, but I watched them in disgust. The Europa League that season. It just to me, I was just looking at it as, why are we here? We shouldn't be here. We should be playing with the big boys in the Champions League. We did win it, but to me, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing to me to celebrate.
Yeah, I'm a bit like you. We won with Jose Mourinho, and I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't celebrate at all. I did not celebrate because as Man United, as a football club, for me as a Man United fan, I want us to win the title. I want to win Champions League. I don't want the second sort of tier. But if I have to, then I'll take it.
But listen,
big up Miss Molina.
When it comes to this now, the Europa League final now, for me, I said it like what, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago. It's not about winning it, because like I say, like Monstar says, I ain't going to celebrate some little crappy cup. You know what I mean? It's the mentality side of things that Ole has got the boys in the right mindset to actually go on and go forward into a final and see it through for going into next season.
Oh, yeah. Do you think like maybe the Super Cup, like the winner of that could like go on to the World Club Cup, make it a little bit more interesting? Because it is just it's a charity game to me. Like that's
But even the World Club Cup, although Chelsea didn't win it when we were in it, but we're looking at, like, come on, even the way it's formatted, it's not really competitive, is it? It's not, to me. It's just glorified friendlies. That's all it is.
You
to me.
say that, but you do say that, but every English club who's gone to it, or even say Spanish club that's gone to it and actually won it, they struggled in it, and they played a full strength team, and they struggled in that competition.
Yeah, not all of them play full strength teams though. But the reason why they struggle is because those teams from South America and Africa or Asia, they take it way more serious than the European teams take it. And they take it way more serious.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me,
it's not. Listen, it's not, because it's not. Listen, right? The Champions League is the final. It's the final of the Champions League. It's all those games building up to it. The Europa League is all the games building up to it. FA Cup, whatever other cup. But when it's then a separate cup, when you say, "Oh, you've won that. So you've already won the race. So now we just want you to do this other little extra 5-meter dash, just to sort of prove even more that you're the best." I know what you're saying, Monstar. I mean, I just think, you know what? Yeah, they're not final. It's a one-off game, isn't it? It's like you say, it's a level like a friendly of like the best who's won this and the best who's won that. It's not. I don't see it as a final.
People definitely take like the Champions Leagues and that way more serious than they would a Super Cup or whatever.
I get goosebumps when I hear the Champions League music. I'm not going to lie to you. When I hear the Europa thing, I'm not even interested in it at all. I just sit there.
You know what? When I hear the Europa music, I get tinnitus.
I've got to watch it, and that's it. But for me, though, it's building up to this game. It's a spectacle. Champions League final is always a spectacle, and it's two British clubs going head to head. Now, who would I prefer to win it? Would be Chelsea over Man City. That's my preference to it. Also, sorry, I'm talking me. What do you think about this whole situation with Tammy Abraham? He's fallen out of favour with Tuchel. What's going on? Because he's technically your best striker.
He's gone. It
was something about his missus, wasn't it? That come out with a tweet or something, or Instagram.
I can't believe they didn't score that. So the situation with Tammy Abraham, Tuchel just doesn't favour him. He is still, I think he's joined, or actually no, Jorginho's now our top scorer in the Premier League, and all of them being penalties, by the way. Tuchel just doesn't favour him. He just doesn't like him. I think, and then another issue as well is that he refuses to sign a contract that Chelsea have offered him. He wants more money, and Chelsea are like, no, we're not giving you that money. You take what we give you, or you can, leave. I think that plays a factor as to why he's not playing. I think Tammy's gone. I think his Chelsea career is effectively over. They are going to try and sell him once the summer window opens.
Could you see him going to Spurs as Harry Kane's not there? They don't really do business.
We don't do. The only way he's going to Spurs is if they allow us to, all right, we add money on top of him for Kane. That's the only way I can see it. Otherwise, there's no way in hell Chelsea are gonna. There's no way in hell.
Kane's going to Man City, and that's nailed on. If Haaland is not moving,
I
He's
don't
good for
think
Manchester.
the only way if I see Kane going to Man City is if Man City, because they were talking about Jesus going the other way. So if Man City can get that price dropped, otherwise Man City do not spend that kind of money on any player. They
64
don't.
million tops.
Yeah,
at the moment.
they do not spend that kind of money. No way in hell. They would rather go out and find someone we don't know about.
Yeah.
Or do you see Pep turning Ferran Torres into his striker?
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
he's done it to begin of the season, like, didn't he? He done it for a few games, and he did well, really. To be fair to him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
But
surprised.
is that enough though? Let's just think about this. I mean,
It's
what
not
I wanted to ask what I wanted to ask before I forget, because I will forget if I don't ask it now, is where is this Champions League final? Where is it won? Where is it won on the park?
Centre mid,
What areas of the pitch?
central midfield.
If it's a battle of central midfielders, but also on top of that, like you were saying before about the goals, like chances created and not converted scenario, who's got the better finishers in their midfields?
It's definitely Man City. Man City have got the better finishers, but they both teams do struggle to score goals. They both this season both teams have struggled to score. But Man City have been a little bit more clinical, hence why they are where they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to mention 2008 at all, but
Yeah, not a good year. Not a good year for us, man. Not a good year for us.
you know what?
You got
Could have
it.
won a
I
treble.
mean, you had like
Oh
that.
my God,
that
Liverpool
Chelsea-
just missed a blinder. Jesus.
Yeah,
But
they
yeah,
are.
go on.
Yeah. That cup, when Chelsea won the Champions League, like you never expected it, and that game against Barcelona, I remember it from the day I got. I'm not even a Chelsea fan, but you just saw them winning it that year just from that result. You just knew it was going to be their year. You know what I mean? And
It's crazy as well because this Chelsea team actually plays better football than that one. That Chelsea team was an aging team. It was full of legends who carried us through to the end, but it was a team full of aging players, and we didn't play good football. This team right now is playing much better football.
If I can remember rightly, that team that won the Champions League, you guys just scraped through a lot of games, and you got a few penalties going through to the group stages and then towards the final as well, didn't you? Just scraped through it.
I wouldn't. So, in the group stage, I think we won the group stage comfortably. We scraped through Napoli because obviously they beat us 3-1. Then we had to go away, and then AVB was sacked, and we went away. Or we came back to Stamford Bridge and beat them 4-1. We did get a penalty in that game, yes. The next leg was the next round was against Benfica, who we did get through quite easily. Then obviously Barcelona, which I mean we all know what happened there. That was an iconic, round. Chelsea Barcelona where we beat them 1-0. We kind of shithoused our way to the 1-0. Drogba was literally on the floor the whole game. He kept diving, and then somehow, some way he scored. Barcelona hit the woodwork. I can't even mention how many times through Fabregas and Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
I think a ball was cleared off the line. And then obviously the 2-2, John Terry stupidly, he's always sabotaged us in the Champions League. He's stupidly got a red card for a reason I still don't know to this day why he did what he did. We managed to, and then Barcelona went 2-0 up, and we were down to 10 men. Ramirez obviously scored one of the greatest goals I've ever seen in the Champions League with a chip.
yeah, class.
And then obviously we equalized towards the end. So it was just crazy. And then in the final, we saw, Bayern, tough game. They scored first, and then we equalized at the end, and then we beat them on penalties. And also Czech in both against Barcelona and against Bayern Munich saved some penalties as well. It was just crazy. It was just a crazy lucky. Like it was such a lucky tournament for us, and somehow we won it. It was just luck.
Do you know what? Monstar, that's the thing. I've always said it. The cup competitions, if you get a little bit of luck on your side, and a couple of decent performances, there's a good chance you're going to get to the end. And that because the cup, that's what cup competitions are about. But I just want to go back to that comment that Melina just put up there. So people need to put more respect on Tactic Tuchel. They've improved so much since then. But you know what? Would you not agree with me, Monstar, that what he's done is simplified? He's simplified what was happening before. It's not like he's not like doing anything out of the ordinary, is it? Really, tactically.
What he's done, because I always tell people you've not really seen the real Tuchel. You will see the real Tuchel next season. This back three you're seeing, you're not going to see it next season. He hasn't got his players that he wants in this team yet. He's just basically making the best out of the situation he has on hand. Now, don't get me wrong. When at the beginning of the season, if some of you have seen my videos, you would have seen me saying that Chelsea should win the league, because if we're being honest, we actually have the players good enough to win the league. Like, it's not that we're overachieving now, it's that we were underachieving under Frank Lampard. These players are good enough. We're talking about some amazing players in that Chelsea squad and how thick Chelsea's squad is. Chelsea's squad is very, very thick. They've got a very good set of players. So what Tuchel's come in and done is he's basically just got the best out of the players he has on hand. These players were always good enough. Unfortunately, with under Frank Lampard, he made us think the players weren't good enough, but the players were good enough, and we're seeing it now.
He was overthinking it a bit, don't you not think, Frank?
I just don't think he was a good enough manager. I just don't think he was ready yet.
What about sort of Carl Havard? What do you make of him? Do you think he'll stay at Stamford Bridge or get his opportunity, or do you think he'll go out probably on loan? Because I look at him and, like I said, he was a monster in the Bundesliga. He's now at Chelsea, and it's almost like he's struggling massively at the moment.
Yeah, with Kai Havertz, I've always said, listen, I never expected much from Kai Havertz this season, because he's like 20 years old. I get it. He looks big, he looks mature. He's actually just 20 years old. Yeah. How many 20-year-olds around Europe do you expect so much from? You know, we get blinded by the fact that Lionel Messi, Pele, Wayne Rooney were doing it at such a young age, but we don't realize that.
Sorry, I got to squeeze
these
one
guys
more name into that. Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, but Greenwood as well has had times where at the beginning of the season he's not necessarily had, he's not necessarily been that good, but you should expect that from these young players. Young players are expected to go through patches where they're not performing.
Greenwood had that problem, I think, when he went away with England, didn't he? Him and Phil Foden,
Phil Foden,
out, and then he went to Ole, and he was like saying he's got problems with like fitting in and not going out and doing the old drinking culture and hanging out with his mates and that. And the same thing with Foden. So
you've got to remember,
Kai Havertz is the same age, isn't he? So you got to respect the fact that they're so young. They've got to really learn.
Yeah, you got to also remember with him as well, with Mason Greenwood, part of the reason why he had to go like at United, you didn't really hear too much about it, is to do with one of his friends at Man City. So that's part of the reason as well he was taken away from the firing line as well.
And not only that, I remember earlier on this year, I spoke to someone who's a coach at Chelsea. I got invited and I got to speak to him, and he was telling me that with Kai Havertz, Chelsea have all the patience in the world, and they look at him more like a Kevin De Bruyne, but they're not going to let him go this time. So they're looking at him like they're giving him a lot of time to develop and get used to the life in England. And then they don't expect much from him right now. They just know he's going to be an amazing player in years to come. So they're giving him all the time in the world. Hence why, if you notice it, Tuchel is not under pressure to play him like how he's under pressure to play Werner. Tuchel can leave him on the bench, and Lampard can leave him on the bench as much as he wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got a lot of time.
Yeah, it's interesting. Go on.
Sorry. I just don't think he should go out on loan. I think he should be. Yeah, he should be in the Chelsea team at least, like trying to get his position if he can. I mean, go on, Solo. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say regarding around Chelsea. Obviously, listen, next season I think you guys are going to be fantastic. Next season, I think Tuchel will come in. He'll do a few more addition to the areas. But what sort of areas do you think you guys would need to improve on? Because obviously, goalkeeping wise, it seems like you've got a very solid goalkeeper at the moment. Yeah. You got a second backup keeper, which he's okay. Spent a lot of money on him, but whether or not you're going to let him go or not, I'm not sure.
They're gonna try and sell him if they can, but I doubt they're gonna be able to be honest.
Yeah, no one's gonna, especially the wage he's on as well. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere anytime soon. Loan that might be. But what sort of areas, sort of like, I'm looking at Chelsea, I'm just thinking sort of what side I would probably look to improve on. But overall, looking at Chelsea and looking at the squad, it is quite a solid squad.
Yeah, I mean, I already know the areas that are going to be hold on, that are gonna be what's it called? Added to the squad. So it's three main positions, and those positions are gonna be they're gonna go out and buy a striker. I think it's gonna be Lukaku. All signals are pointing to Lukaku. They're going to buy a midfielder, and that's gonna be either Declan Rice if West Ham lower the price, or it's going to be a kid called Chouameni from Monaco. It's going to be either those two. And in the defense, it's highly likely. It is highly likely that if Rafael Varane leaves in the summer, he's going to Chelsea. It's highly likely.
Well, we're supposed to be in talks with him though as well, aren't we?
United.
Man United are supposed to be in talks, but Man United are not gonna. Man United are not gonna really get into a bidding war with Chelsea, are they? Knowing your owners and how. They're not really, man. They're going to go for Jadon Sancho.
Go on.
That's the thing. Sorry, I was going to say that Man United want Bale, apparently. Not Bale.
No.
Kane, right?
All right.
Which is about 150 mil. We've already just signed Cavani, so Man United made
I don't think Kane's coming.
I don't think he's going to go either, and I hope he doesn't. Do you think
your biggest transfer this summer is going to be Jadon Sancho? I want
Kane.
But you want right?
Hold on.
Huh?
Hold on.
You want Sancho too, though, right? At Chelsea,
we do, but I can't see Chelsea go. Lukaku, the price tag, it depends, because the price tag set on Lukaku is very cheap. It's actually 80 million euros, which is not a lot of money. And Chelsea's supposed budget is going to be around 150. Now that doesn't include what we're going to sell our players for, because we've got a lot of players that are holding a lot of value. Tomori, who I wish we kept, will most likely be going on a permanent to AC Milan, which is a very bad move on Chelsea's behalf. We've also got the likes of Alonso and Emerson. I think Zuma is going to be leaving this summer, and he's going to go for a good amount of money if he leaves in the summertime as well. And then you've also got Tammy Abraham, who's an England international and scored about 16 or 17 goals in the Prem last season. He's going to go for a good amount of money as well. So Chelsea are going to garner a lot of money in transfer sales, plus obviously our budget we have on hand. So, but I don't see Chelsea necessarily going for Sancho. And the reason why I said this is because I actually know who Jadon Sancho's agent is. It's someone I grew up with, and Jadon Sancho was actually supposed to be going to Man United last summer. It was basically a done deal. Man United basically went back on their word and tried to penny pinch. Tried to knock money off the situation, and it might end up working out for you guys.
5 million.
Yeah, it might end up. It was 10. It was 10. It might end up working out for you guys, because you might. Let's think about it. Last season, you was probably going to get. It was, if you were paid the money, it would have been 120. This season, they're talking about 70 million. That's a 50 million pound difference.
Yeah.
So one season you've saved, and you've had a good season without him. You've saved 50 million pounds. I would take that. I would definitely take it.
Yeah. I think
we need more.
Go on.
We need more. We need more than just Sancho.
You need Sancho and a centre back. You need Sancho.
Yeah, also, because I mean, that's all right. I've been batting on about this for ages. That we're playing a system, right, without the key player that is so vital to that system, which is the number 6. He ain't got one.
Yes, you do. You definitely need that. And I mean, Declan Rice is a name out there, but do you think Man United would listen? West Ham are trying to take everyone to the cleaners for Declan Rice. They're demanding way too much.
I want Ndidi. I don't want Declan Rice.
You're not
getting my guy.
You are not getting Ndidi.
I think Declan Rice wants a Chelsea move. I think that's the place he feels more comfortable. He's a fan of Chelsea, is he not? Like,
he's a former academy graduate. He didn't graduate, but he was an academy player at Chelsea. Just so he did come through our ranks. We did let him go. He ended up at West Ham and became captain there. Lampard wanted him really badly last season, but Chelsea were just not willing to pay 80 million pounds. They just weren't willing to pay that. I'm sorry. As good as he is, he's not worth 80 million pounds.
He's not at all. He's not at all.
If I'm paying 80 million pounds for a defensive midfielder, it's going to be a De Jong from Barcelona, or it's going to be what's the name? Joshua Kimmich. Those are the only guys I would pay 80 million pounds for. Otherwise, I'm not paying 80 million pounds for a defensive midfielder. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right with it.
I just hope we don't get our pants pulled down again in this transfer window. You know what I mean? If the owners are if they've made all these moves with Murto and Fletcher, and they're going to give Ollie a new contract, and they can see that Ollie has made improvements. We can't deny that. Otherwise, he won't be in second in the final. So that's put that point first. But I just hope they don't see us coming again, you know, and we just go, okay, we'll pay whatever you want because we're Man United, and we end up with like overpriced crap.
Yeah, well, I think it will change this season, and the reason why I think it will, and that's a big if, Ole gets backed, I honestly believe with the people who've been negotiating these prices now, will be a bit more firmer and say, right, that's the price we're going to go in. Ed Woodward is a businessman, so Ed Woodward will go in and penny pinch, and he's the one who ruins these transfers. These guys now, Myrtle and those guys now, will go in, set the fee, right, this is what we value the player at, and then that is it. And then give that, and then that's it. And then like, right, negotiation done. So with I think, I know a lot of people don't want Harry Kane, but I would love Harry Kane at Man United. But before we get Harry Kane, like what Matt said, we need the number 6, and then we also need that Sancho as well deal to go through first before we even think about Harry Kane.
I'm not going to lie to you. If no one has any assets to offer for Harry Kane in terms of not just money, player plus money, if anyone does sign him, you're not
Tottenham.
You're not buying any other player, because we know how Ed Woodward is. In order to sell,
he's not there anymore. He's not there. He's gone.
Woodward
would be gone.
Yeah, Woodward's gone.
By July, he's gone.
No, not Woodward. Sorry, not Woodward. I said Woodward. Daniel Levy. Sorry, my bad. You know how Daniel Levy is? He's getting every penny's worth for Harry Kane. He's squeezing. He's whatever club's getting him. He's squeezing them for everything they've got. He's squeezing them for their whole their next 2 transfer budgets.
He wants a trophy. He wants a trophy as well, doesn't he?
Do you think that's because of the fact that you think that's because of the fact that they've like got this whole NFL stadium sort of built into it, and they haven't really had it, have they? Because of the coronavirus, and
what a shame.
They haven't made back their money. That all the fans haven't been there for like a year and a half. And he's sort of like thinking, well, just get a few people.
Love it. Yes, Stephen.
See what I'm doing? I'm playing my little violin. I can't do a fuck.
Yeah, he's gonna rob whatever team for everything they've got. I don't see, if any team gets Kane, I don't see them signing another player that summer. No way in hell.
That's what worries me.
Yeah, rumors around at the moment that United apparently has got about 280 million to spend. I can't see where that money is coming from when we borrowed 130 million from the bank.
It's lies.
I've heard 100 and something. I've not heard 2 something.
Yeah, it's 2 something, 280.
We've got 200 million coming along.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Plus the 120 million pound loan we got to play off in one lump sum.
Oh, there you go as well. You're in the same boat as us.
Dinar, maybe. Yeah, not
Arsenal have just been used as a PR spin. They've been used for PR by Daniel, whatever his name is, Eck. He's literally just used you lot to raise the share prices of Spotify. And
that's all he has done.
I would say that, but then to be fair, like
he knew they were never going to accept 1 point.
Yeah,
what was it?
Yeah, 1.8. But you're never going to start with your highest bid, are you? So there's still the option there to raise the bid even more. So.
He's not.
No, but he's already come out and said
he's not.
He's already come out and said that he's not raising a bid. That's what he said. He said he'll wait until maybe they need that money and he'll come back. But it don't look like he's coming to.
But do you not agree? I said this like when the ESL thing come out, and I said, listen, there's no way Man United or Arsenal are going to sell the club right now, them owners, because now the seed's been planted with the ESL, right? We know that things are going to change. The Champions League is changing. The Football League in England is going to change, whether it be in 3, 5, or 8 years' time. It's going to change, and that change is going to increase the amount of income these clubs are getting, which boosts and inflates the price of the club and the profitability. So why would they sell now when they can forecast going forward that it's potential? If it's worth 4 billion now at Man United, in 3, 5, or 8 years, it could be like worth double that, maybe even more. So why would they sell it now? They don't need to.
They were never going to sell that.
We'll never see that money.
As much as people are screaming for them out and blah blah, these are profitable businesses for these gentlemen.
Yeah,
very high profitable businesses. Why would I ask yourselves? Why would you sell a profitable business because the fans want you to? The same fans that will the same fans that will continue to spend money anyway. You know, everyone's calling. You know, everyone's saying they're not gonna blah 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 blah. But then you saw as soon as the new kits for Arsenal came out, Everyone wants to buy him now. Simple as that.
What do you think? We
Everyone
should
wants
play
to get to
what
the
do you think we
games.
play tonight's game in them?
Everyone
Promo.
wants to get to the games. Everyone wants to go to the games. It's all just a bluff.
Monstar, yeah, you said there was a sale on or recently Chelsea, right, where you went and they were doing like things for a very high discount. Is that anything to do with this, or like was that just
I don't think that's what that was. I think that was more just based on they were the new kits were coming out and they had so much stock considering the coronavirus, so they had to get rid of it. They did do a 75% discount. Literally everything was like £10, £15. It was just so cheap.
That's mental, isn't it? You never would have thought.
Yeah, I'd be spending like so many bucks, you won't believe it.
Yeah, literally, there was nothing over £20. Nothing was over £20.
That's dangerous, man. This is the thing. See, like you say, Monstar, you just hit on the head there. And you said about the owners, the fans. Some fans going, "I'm not going to buy." Most fans are going to go like, "Well, I am. So fuck you. I'm going to go and buy these things because they're cheap." You know what I mean?
What people don't understand as well is that what English fans don't understand is that there's so many Man United fans out or just of all of us. There's so many fans for all of us. So if a group says, "Oh, we're gonna boycott the games and blah blah," there's a whole bigger group ready to go to the games.
Waiting to go to the game. I'm waiting for season ticket as well.
Yeah, there's a whole big group.
I refuse to buy a United shirt. I think since 2008, I stopped buying a United shirt. Refuse to. Stop giving the Glazers money in their pocket. Because I refuse to. Because the way is, we got a stand that's got leaks, that ain't been seeing works or anything done since 2002.
Yeah.
But yet every season they're trying to take about 200 million, 300 million out of the club to input it in their business in America.
The railway stand.
That's, I guess, the difference.
It's like someone's having a piss on him. What are you doing?
I mean, like you see,
it starts the roof leaking.
I mean, like you see now. I mean, I'm in my current Arsenal shirt now, but after what I've seen this season, I can't buy another shirt again. I won't do it. I won't do it.
So if I see you on a streaming wearing a new Arsenal shirt,
you're not going to, mate. You're not going to.
Stephen, I know you bought it, mate. You've bought it already. You're just going to wear it. Don't lie to me, man. Don't lie to me.
Guys,
you check my bank account.
Guys, you've got three American owners. You've got, American owners at Arsenal. You've got American owners at Liverpool and Man United. You got Abramovich at Chelsea, who seems to be the most similar person like Leicester's owner. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he likes and loves the club and he appreciates them and he wants them to do well. He's always at the games. I think even you said it, Monstar. He was at the women's final, wasn't he, in the Champions League recently? You would never see the Glaziers or the Cronkays doing that.
Monster, is he allowed back in the country? Because I know he
got banned. The final wasn't in England. Wasn't
Oh, okay.
He's always at the games. If he can be at the games, he will always be there. He loves the club. It's as simple as that. Some people say he looks at it as a toy, but that's kind of the same
he loves
thing
the club. He's loved the club. He loved the club.
Yeah, it's the same thing as loving it, because at the end of the day, he wants what's best for the club. Do you know what I mean? He wants complete, and it's the same thing with Man City on as well. They want complete success for the club, and they made a well-oiled machine. He doesn't even have to necessarily plow money into the club, because the way he's gone from just plowing money into the club to the club being sufficient enough by itself, because we generate so much money off loans and things like that, because we got probably the biggest and best academy in the world, and now everyone's trying to follow our model. He's done a lot for the team, man. So when I heard Chelsea fans saying, "Oh, they want him out," and blah blah, I was like, bro, like, this man has put more into this club than any other Chelsea fan has. There's no Chelsea fan out there that can tell me they've put more money into this club than Roman Abramovich has. And before Roman Abramovich has, you was here, you guys obviously will make the joke that Chelsea was nobody and blah blah. But we have to admit there's somewhat truth to that. So I can never doubt his love to this team.
Yeah, but you know what I wanted to ask you was, I wanted to just, because I couldn't make any head nor tail because of the way that, like, what you've just said there, Monstar, is similar to what I was just going to say now. That's why I couldn't understand why Chelsea was sort of dipped their toe in this idea of the ESL, because I was thinking, wait a minute, why does Abramovich need to do that? He doesn't need to do that.
It was the fear of being left out.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think with
being left
majority, I
behind.
think with Chelsea and Man City, it was the fear of being left behind. So it's not like they wanted to be in this, but they were thinking, what if this was to go through and it was to be a good idea? I mean, it was to work and blah blah. We will be the only big team that's missing out on it. So we don't want to be the team that's missing out on it. So we want to be included. That's all it was. But that's why when shit started to go wrong, Chelsea and Man City were the first to withdraw.
Yeah. Guys, I'm really sorry. Thanks for having me on. I've got to jump off. I've got some bits to do before I sort myself out for work tomorrow. But Monstar, pleasure meeting you. Stephen, thank you as always. Talk MU, respect. And also, Matt, appreciate having me on. Thank you, guys. I'll be watching the rest of the show in the background, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for coming on.
Take care, man.
You're welcome.
Speak soon, mate. Speak soon, mate.
Bye.
We won't go on for too long now, Monstar. I know you've been streaming bloody all day, haven't you? Busy,
you look at the I mean, you just mentioned about like the clubs, Man City, even Leicester, Chelsea. You see how well they're doing this season, but look how well their owners look after them, right? And that's the thing. You see, Leicester now have won not just the league; they've now won their first FA Cup because their owner cares, and that's the difference. You see, Man United and Arsenal. Man United, okay, they've still got a chance to win a trophy this season, but they've struggled to win any sort of silverware because of the way their owners treat them.
Bad, no, get that right, Stephen. No, wait a minute. It's bad spending. You just bought the wrong players, mate. Bought the wrong players. You go out and spend 18 million quid on a defender who you... Yeah, we've spent. Yeah, man, we've spent like spare bucks, but you know what? It's just been spent in the wrong places. And you know what? Gary Neville was banging on about this ages ago. You know, bad recruitment and everything else. And you know what? Yeah, it's right. But the thing now for us is what Solo's just said. I'd like to know where he's got that information from about this too. Because what did I say? I don't know how long ago it was. I said, no, Matt, I know you're laughing and shaking your head, mate, but listen, I said, there's no way they're going to make these. What sense does it make for them to make these moves? They're appointing Murto, Darren Fletcher, talking about giving Ollie a new contract. If they're not going to put their hands in the pockets, and listen, and this is another thing I said, which is to me is like the most obvious thing to anyone is when you're the biggest club, right, in not just in England but in the world, right, and you've got these massive sponsors giving you shed loads of money each season. That ain't going to last forever if you ain't fucking challenging decently for the fucking.
Yeah, but look, some of the sponsors have been pulling out of Man United.
I know they have. This is why. Listen. Wait, sorry, Matt. Listen. This is why they are businessmen, right? These people are not fucking stupid. They're businessmen. They know what they've got to do with their money. They've got to go. Wait a minute. We're losing the value in this club. What do we do?
Well, I think that's why Monstar said they're going to get Sancho. I think because that's the shiny new toy to hush up the fans and stop them protesting. They are worried about this. I think they are. And look, you see it with Chelsea, Man City. They haven't had the protests. Arsenal have had a few. Chelsea had the one, didn't they? I think Monstar, you went down.
And Tottenham had about 5. Tottenham had 5.
They had a gathering.
That was like, you know what? I was
sorry, they can't win any trophy, but they can't even win a freaking protest. For God's sake.
I felt embarrassed. I'm getting embarrassed for them now. I'm going red for them now.
Yeah, they're not top 6, are they? Leicester are more top 6
fans,
aren't they, at the moment? Like clearly, the last 6 or 7 years,
Matt, let me just say it. Let me just make it clear, mate. Honestly, listen. The Man United owners, right? When it comes down to where we are right now, they can't again. Now, after everything that's just happened with the protest, getting the biggest game in English football postponed, right? They can't just go out and go, okay, let's go and buy you a new bike and then you'll be happy. No, that ain't going to work. They know that. They have got it, and that's why I want to speak to Solo about where he's read this about this money, because I said minimum 250. I said they have got to put minimum 250 on the table for Ollie and whoever else to say, listen, you get what you need to get, because the value of the club is more important to them going forward. Not right now. They've got to think about going forward because, like I said, the seeds that have been planted now with this ESL, there's going to be more moves made at some point to change the way this league works, to try and generate more income from more pay-as-you-watch subscriptions and all the rest of it. So they need to make sure that they are still there or thereabouts at the top of the tree, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? They need to be there with that, mate. You can't let the value of the club slip any further by just going, I'm just going to get you a new, like you say, Sancho. No, we need a number 6. We need that right winger, and preferably, like we said before, a centre back. I was saying a striker, but now Cavani is like, staying. Martial for me, though, I don't think Martial's the answer for us. I don't think he's the answer going forward. I'm afraid. He's too moody.
I mean, you said that's all well and good for a Man United perspective. You look at it from an Arsenal's perspective in a minute. And the reason I say I don't care, right? How long have we realised this manager ain't bloody good enough? We just saw Crystal Palace there. We barely beat them.
Yeah, but you won.
Right? No. Let's not go into it. We shouldn't have won that game, to be honest. But the manager's not good enough. We all know that. But yet he's still here, and he's still here. And they're getting. Then the Conkeys are coming out and saying, "Yeah, we'll back him. Yeah, we'll back him. We'll give him 200 million as well. Yeah. That's absolutely fine." This guy doesn't care. He doesn't. If he actually cared, and he cared about the value of the club and what you're saying about devaluing the club, he would have got rid of Arteta ages ago. He would have put money in this club. He actually would have put money in this club when he first ever put shares in the club, because we're probably more in.
So, mate, what you're saying is what Abramovich did to Frank Lampard was the right thing, because at the end of the day, the club comes first. It's not about that image of like, just get somebody.
Look at it. Look at we were in both Chelsea and Arsenal at the time. We're both in the same situation. Chelsea were about to fall into our level at the time. We're about 9th or 10th.
We were 2 points ahead of. I think we were 2 points ahead of Arsenal at that time, and we were 9th.
Wow. Yeah.
And they decided to as Abramovich does, to make the cut and get Tuchel in, right? And that was before Arsenal ever did anything. But Arsenal now stuck with this manager. We've now got no European football. They're in a Champions League final.
Stephen, hold on a second.
Champions League.
Let me just wind you back a second, mate. Wind it back, son. Wind back a minute. Just think about what is Arsenal? How long have you had like your longest serving managers?
Over 20 odd years.
Well, there you go. Then that's the end of the argument. That's it. Simple as that. And like I said to you, they ain't going to get if they've come out public and said that they're going to back this guy. All you can do then is say, all right, then go on, prove me wrong. Prove me fucking wrong. Then that I wanted you out and show me. And then that way, when it comes to like your argument against the Arteta dinners, you then can still stand proud and with your chin up and say, there you go. I give him a chance, and he's fucking shit. He's not doing it.
That's all well and good, but even if I gave him the money, I don't think he can tell what's good enough and what's bad enough. He's still backing players that aren't good enough for this club, right? And he's not getting rid of them. So that's the whole point. And you can all say about that. I think with a lot of Arsenal's fan base, they couldn't care if the Kroenke said that 200 million. They couldn't care if they said, "Oh, we're going to give you 300 million, 400 million." They could come up with £1 billion to say that you could spend in the transfer window, right? These lot would not. Arsenal fans would not care. Their trust in this owner has gone. They don't care. They want this. They hate this. They hate this guy with a passion. He doesn't want to ever come to this country. I'm telling you that. Right? They'll be outside the airport. They don't want him in at all. And a lot of American people don't want him in either.
I think it's more of a challenge for me to say, "Go on, then, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I want to see you prove me wrong." Rather than
we said that many times.
No, I mean with Arteta. With Arteta. You rather than just sort of just going right, there you go, and that's it. And then because what you're going to do if the next manager comes in, Stephen, you can't keep saying, like, oh, you've had a season and a half and you shit. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Go. Get another one. You keep going around like that in a fucking circle. You've just had a manager who's served you for 20 odd years, done great things for the club, brought a lot of new things to the Premier League that we weren't even doing at Man United, and so you can't, that's not what your club is about right now. But
I get that, but what did he spend 10 years? What did he spend his last 10 years doing? Right, covering for the Conkeys. What did he spend the last 2 years after Finger doing? Right, covering the tracks of what the Conkeys were doing, right, being a yes man, right, putting up with their
But
crap.
that's a complicated issue.
I'm looking at Arteta is I'm looking at exactly the same thing. I'm just seeing it in press conferences, and I'm like, you're Arsene Wenger.
Well, I'd love to.
Right.
I'd love to carry on with the Arsenal talk, but we did that yesterday, and we will do
sorry,
that.
Man. Sorry, man.
Anybody else want to ask Monstar any more questions about Chelsea quickly before we end the stream? Like,
what do you think Tuchel needs to do to make sure that you get challenging Man City and possibly Man United next year for the title?
I think he just needs about three players he'll probably get. They're not going to be too expensive anyway, and I think he'll be challenging them. They just need to give him what he wants. I don't think he needs too much because this squad is clearly an amazing squad, so it shouldn't be an issue. I think he'll challenge, because if you look at our form since Tuchel's coming, I think we're second place in the table. Obviously, that's not the Premier League in general, but since he's coming, he's in second place. So, yeah.
But that's, you know, I want to go back to what I said earlier, which was, if the way I see it is, it's kind of simplified things really at the club. Whereas, and for me, do you know what he said? Who was it? Sorry, let's think. Carlo Ancelotti said it. You know, he come out with a statement after an Everton game once, and I was jumping up and down on it. I was like, "Get in, Carlo! That's what I want to fucking hear." And he was basically saying, "Why are you overcomplicating this game? It's a simple fucking game. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just give simple instructions, you know, and do simple things, and it will pay dividends." And but on the other hand of that is it's not always easy to do that, is it? It's not always easy to do that. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to ask somebody to do something that's simple, but they still have to do it in a really effective manner and be confident in doing it.
I also
wanted to ask as well, Monstar, before we finish, I think it's quite important actually. The fact that they moved the league final, the Champions League final to Portugal and Porto. Do you think that's selfish from UEFA? Like they're not looking out for it, or do you think it was a good thing to do that?
I'm not saying it was a good thing necessarily, but I mean, I think we might be looking at it from a selfish point of view as well, because I'm just looking at it as, listen, the Champions League final's been hosted in Wembley 2 times in the past 10 years, right? I'm not wrong. 2011, 2013.
It's Dortmund and Bayern Munich, wasn't it?
Dortmund and Bayern Munich, Man United and Barcelona. So Wembley's had its time. To me, it was just like I've always been a fan of, you know, it's a European competition. Let other people get their chance to host it as well. And obviously, Portugal are also, you know, letting people in. In fact, my girlfriend's going there this weekend. So it's not an issue for people to necessarily travel there. Whereas with England, you know, there are issues with travel restrictions and things like that. So I don't think it's necessarily selfish or a bad thing from UEFA. I know a lot of us think of it as, listen, there's 2 English teams, so it's better to be hosted in England, and that's true in a sense. I don't necessarily mind it being hosted in Portugal, if you ask me. I'm just a fan of, it's the same thing with the World Cups or wherever. Let other people host it as well. It can't just be hosted in one place over and over again.
Yeah. Just want to say hello to Kahunde. That's Amonde's brother.
Monday, yeah, mate. Being up for that video, man. We'll do that video in London.
Just want to ask Monstar then. What we've already asked about how does City lose it? We've got talks about the battle in the midfield. Last question: what's the score going to be, mate?
Yeah,
I don't really I do not.
Come on, Monstar.
But I'll say 1-0 Chelsea. I'll just say that.
Well, okay. 1-0
Do you believe
Chelsea.
it could go to penalties at all?
Huh?
I think it could go to penalties.
I don't see it.
It depends. I don't think so, but it depends, man. It depends on. It could. It actually could, but we'll wait and see.
You know what? For that to go to penalties, like I said just before, I don't know if I said it when we went live or before we went live. It'd have to be one of those games where it's like in the first 15-20 minutes, it's so tetchy. Like nobody wants to make the move to commit themselves, and both teams are like on edge. And then because if that happens, your energy's gone. You sap the energy right out of it. Then it'll be really lethargic.
It's most probably going to be a boring final, for being honest.
I hope not, mate. I'd love to see, because you know what? Yeah, I am a neutral, obviously, because I'm Man United. But I'd like to see a game. I'd love to see that kind of game, like, you know, as soon as the whistle blows, fucking wallop, bang. Every time whichever team gets the ball, bang, they're at it, just flying
Like
forward.
2005.
Just going for, you know what I mean? Just going for it and trying to, like, just get that early goals. And then, you know, have the other team then are like, shit, but we've got to score now. And then
I'm
it's just
sure
like,
they'll both be up for it, wouldn't they? We should probably finish it off there. Stephen, talk. Monstar, mate, once again, thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Thank you.
No worries, man.
Sorry for being
Yeah,
so
it's not
consistent as well, mate.
No. It's just because I'm back at work. It's a bit hard for me to do videos. Even on my channel, I don't do videos as consistently as I used to. I used to do 12 o'clock shows, but it's a bit hard now because of work. It's very challenging doing these videos.
Hey,
So.
your yesterday stream as well, mate. Challenge that
oh,
was.
yeah. Yeah. I was watching that last night, right?
They
Doing
were
some
going
work
crazy,
on my laptop.
Mate, that was
Man. I tell you what, Johnny and Kaza. Oh, mate, quality. It's just
Yeah.
quality.
I do like the way you do things on your channel. I do tune in a fair bit into us.
Thanks,
Like
man.
what you do.
Yeah. It's you know, you learn a lot about your club as well, and about the team, and obviously that's kind of helps us going forward into the next season, because you know what, you don't always look at teams as strongly and as deeply as you look at your own. You know what I mean? Because I bleed red anyway, because it's red, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's Man United.
I will just finally say this: your support's been absolutely massive since I started YouTube as well. So thanks.
Oh, no worries, man. No worries.
Yeah, cheers, Monster. Big up, man. Monster, let everyone know where they can find you, bro.
It's just Monstar CFC, as you can see on the screen, on literally every platform out there. Well, just Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Monstar CFC.
Cheers, bro. Thank you so much, man. Stephen, where can they find you, bro?
You can find me at S-Featley TV. As you can see, at 5th of June, we're doing our new fundraising quiz. Raise some more money for Children's Liver Disease Foundation. And yeah, come and support and come and tune in, because every time you tune in, it raises money for Children's Liver Disease Foundation as well. So yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Thanks, Stephen. Talk.
Find me on Twitter at iTalkMU, S-Featley TV, Football United TV, the Man United Agenda, and 2-0 to Liverpool. And my prediction is coming true that Liverpool will get top 4. I told you, didn't I? Know everybody laughed at me when I said it. Everybody, like about 6, 8, whatever weeks ago, people were like, you have your head. I'm like, what do you mean, what from your head? You're telling me that Liverpool's mentality's gone. Don't talk fucking silly, mate. It's a fucking confidence issue. It ain't a mentality thing.
Yeah,
confidence.
Maybe Alisson scoring that header just sort of gave him the boost, didn't it? You know.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but listen, that things don't happen by accident, mate. They don't.
I know. We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah,
United across the tomorrow, 7 p.m. We got lots of guests from North America. I think even a Mexican Man United fan.
Oh yes,
be very very interesting. 7 p.m. tomorrow. Go check out Monstar CFC, my favorite Chelsea channel.
Thank you, man.
And talks. Until then, have a pleasant rest of your evening, and
ciao.
I can do this.